Hey everybody, this is my first time doing a rig rundown of my pedals. As you can see below you, I got quite the mess of stuff that I've been working on for basically the entire 20 years I've been playing the guitar, or trying to play the guitar. Um, what you're really looking at is over the years, it's no surprise from if you've watched any of my other videos, my favorite musician, guitarist is Trey Anastasio. I think his tone is the most incredible tone. I mean, there's several different variations of how his tone works. If you look at it from years, if you just listen to a song from type 1 to type 2 of like how the jam goes, he has so many different vibes. And this is my somewhat cheap, not really, cheaper than Trey certainly spent, way of trying to capture that tone. And I think I've gotten to a point that I personally like. Definitely open to hearing y'all's feedback on what you think of it. But yeah, going down here, we'll start with like what I like as the overall clean tone. So, um, personally, I really like having the vibrato mojo vibe on at all times. The way I use it is not really like Jimi Hendrix vibe style. It's more of trying to emulate the Leslie swirl tone, and so you can see kind of from the knob down here that it's turned down really low. I like to make it like have this like airy, almost like breathing feeling rather than a swooping really fast swirl. And yeah, me personally, I like it on at all times. And working where I way backwards, I've got obviously this big pedal down here that's the loop pedal that pulls in and completely true bypasses anything that I don't want on, but pulls in what I do want on during that time. Um, so I start off with core tone really being I've got this wah. I found that I stopped using it. It seems like Trey's kind of stopped using his a little bit too, but it's just so bright and choppy that I find other ways to get that kind of like wah liquidy sound. But yeah, core tone, Keeley compressor. I was told that this was kind of a knockoff of the Ross compressor, so I really like it a lot. It's got some really good tone to it. Then from there, I go into the Archer Icon Klon, which Trey, if you know, in his later years, switched to, or not switched, but added on having the original Centaur. I'm certainly not going to spend that much money on a pedal. This one was a pretty good deal. And I played around with it for a few weeks trying to figure out where I wanted in my chain, put it towards the end, trying to highlight some other pedals. And this is where I kind of found it that I like it, and looking at how Trey usually, I think he keeps his on at all times. So I've got mine on at all times, and I've got the gain turned all the way down. So it's like a true clean boost. And it pairs really well with what's next in the chain, the Tube Screamer. Don't have the double tube screamer. The way I kind of make up for that is I turn up the presence. I think Trey likes his presence all the way down. I turn my presence up a little bit. And while we're talking about this, that's my Mesa Lonestar. I just switched out the speakers that were black shadows to be the Heritage G1265s. Read that was something Trey used in his earlier years. Still breaking them in, but I really like the tone that I'm getting out of them so far. It's just a little clearer and really highlights the mids like Trey likes to do. Then I go into a Wonderlove envelope filter. Really, this thing's so versatile. It's such an awesome envelope filter. I've got it kind of dialed into what I like the settings to be. And then the really cool thing about it is it has its own send return. And so moving down the chain, I've got this Noise Kick FX trim octave pedal. So if y'all have ever heard of this guy, he's awesome. He's a Phish head just like all of us. Really, really like this pedal a lot, and I had trouble finding the right home for it. But once I put it into this loop of the envelope filter, I started getting like a really cool Mutron kind of vibe to it. And so the trim is basically always on with the envelope filter. And then there's a switch right here that I can turn to on to get that octave sound. And so I'll go through all this in a second, but just letting you know on that piece. Then you got the Mojo Vibe. Like I said, I usually keep that always on. And then the delay, you can't see it on here, but I have a carbon copy delay that I feel like I've got dialed into a pretty fun setting. And then I can play around with it handheld up here to be able to like do some crazy, like, I don't know, not the funk siren, but other nutball kind of sounds. And then I'll turn the camera a little bit. You can see I've got this other little pedal right here that I am using to plug into this Zoom G6. And so the thing about the Zoom G6 is, you know, it's a lot of fun. I mean, even by itself, it's great. But I personally, I don't want the digital sound, everything being changed over to digital. So having this Zoom pedal or kill switch right here really helps to keep that tone really true analog throughout. But when I want to use it, which what I use it for is the fun, goofy stuff like the Digitech Whammy. It's basically a combo of the way I have it programmed right now of being the Digitech Whammy and also a boomerang that I accomplish more from having a really elongated, tailed out delay effect on here. And then there's a little volume. I use this for a little volume pedal for when it like gets a little overpowering or want to turn down that loop and go back into kind of a normal jam. So yeah, that's basically the rundown here. And yeah, we'll play you a couple things. Let's see. So starting off, I have this, like I said, just the vibe going, compressor, and the Archer icon. That's my core tone. Play something. I like to play a lot of stuff in the middle position, picking up both pickups. I know Trey, for the most part, does mainly the neck. So I do that quite a bit. I shift in and out, but for a clean tone, I seem to like the brightness of this a little bit more. So yeah, you know, something like Yamar, this is... So yeah, that's the clean tone, doing what it do. I'm gonna turn this up just a smidge. I'm getting some feedback that I didn't used to get, but yeah, gotta work through that a little bit. Let's see, what else do we want to go through? Oh, another like clean tone that I have a lot of fun with. Adjust things real quick. Bring this guy over. So another one I really like is the cleanness of Divided Skies. Another good example. That's actually one I kind of turn the vibe off. The sustain parts really help out. And then just keep building on it. Turn the screamer on. Divided Sky. Me trying to play Divided Sky. Let's get into some other stuff. So, you know, what are some other classic Trey sounds? You got Tweezer. One thing I really like to do with this is put on the Wonderlove with the tremolo on also. And I don't know if he always does this with Tweezer. I probably not, but it's the tone that I like with it. So yeah, let's see. You hear that? It's like it's just a little bit wetter of a sound with the envelope filter. It's just, I don't know. I love it. I love it. Got a Jibboo. I love playing that song so much. It's pretty simple, but the tone on it is just so like, I don't know how else to describe it, but like having the vibrato, the Wonderlove, and the screamer on, you know, alongside the klon and the compressor. Tones. Maybe we can jump into, if I go back a little bit to clean sound, you know, one that I really like when I'm testing out my pedals in my amp to see if it's picking up the right tone. Keep in mind it's a tube amp. Sometimes it just sounds different one day versus the other. I am always practicing along with Divided Sky to make sure the sustain levels are still there. I'm practicing the yum breakdown. I really love the tone of the yum breakdown. It's so much fun. I have the presence up on it. I don't know with Trey how he does it. I have my screamer off, but I really love doing this. It's just fun to play. So I'll turn the camera a little bit. You probably can't read all the stuff on the screen, but the way I get this going is I'll have the pitch pedal that's basically a Digitech whammy, cheaped out, and then a really elongated delay, and then I gotta make sure I turn on the zoom. But yeah, so the way that works is I'll do something, let's see how good it works. some Octave stuff. Let's try that out. So I'm gonna turn this guy on. If any of y'all make pedals again or do mods to pedals, let me know because I would love to get a switch instead of a toggle for turning the Octave on. But I was listening to Sneakin' Sally from San Francisco back in like 2016. Really, really long Sneakin' Sally. So many layers to it. It's badass. I highly recommend checking it out. But yeah, there's one part of it that sounds like he's doing an octave, and it's almost like the 20 years later kind of vibe. It's like... I'm a little curious. Yeah, so listen to that. Tell me what y'all think. Stuff that you can do with this octave. I don't know if y'all really hear it or not. I really feel like I'm getting this Mootron vibe from it, which is super cool. Another one that you could do with the octave is what's the use? You know, it's like... Some that may sound terrible, but for me, with an octave pedal, I'm still playing around with it. It feels like it's getting the job done. So I'll switch that off. That's basically it. There's some other stuff, Trey tones out there that try and get to. But yeah, I think that's about it. Thanks for checking this out. See y'all.